Hey up, Rayvers. This week's request has come from my cousin Bruce, who emigrated to Australia years ago. Now, he became a bit of an Aussie Rules football fan, did my cousin Bruce. He supports Collingwood, who are apparently doing very well this year. So Bruce has requested that I review the Australian Rules football film, The Club. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Aussie Rules football. I did catch some of it on telly in the 80s, I think it was on Channel 4, but I didn't really understand what was going on. They just seemed to catch the ball, boot it in the air, smash each other around a bit, catch the ball, and then boot it away again. But yeah, it was quite good fun. And the things what mainly stuck in my mind were the mullets and the unfeasibly small shorts. They're like underpants, they might as well have just been wearing the pants. And after tuning into Club, it appears that my memories were not misplaced. You know, it was the same stuff. I think this film was made in 1980. But yeah, very small shorts again, and daft haircuts. And first up, we meet Laurie Hoden, coach of the Collingwood Magpies. And he's got a very impressive moustache and flowing blonde locks. I reckon quite reminiscent of Ian Botham. Now, of course, he were a footballer and all, weren't he, both of them? Albeit an association footballer. But, yeah, physical bloke, weren't he? I reckon he'd have been good at Aussie Rules, wouldn't he? Very broad-shouldered, with strong legs. Yeah, I wonder what Botham's secret is to that athletic physique.
I hear he uses Revitive.
Revitive Circulation Booster. Get your leg muscles pumping to relieve aches and pains and reduce swelling and cramp.
Ah, well, there you go. That's the answer, isn't it? Revitive. That explains why he's got such an athletic physique. Anyway, whilst the Collingwood players are recovering from their fitness session, the real drama is going on in Boardroom, where the Collingwood board are trying to sign star player Jeff Hayward. And straight away there's some tension and friction, because Jeff doesn't like the deal he's supposed to sign.
It's not enough.
What do you mean, Jeff? It's a great deal.
Yeah, for you get most of the money.
So everything erupts and folks start shouting at each other.
A thresh rule of business is if you can't deliver the goods, then don't try it. Shut up, I'm warning you, shut up! Calm down!
A lot of shouting in this film. But Jeff refuses to sign.
More money!
How much more money?
10,000.
But the club can't afford it, so the president writes the cheque personally. Now, Laurie, when he finds out about this signing, he ain't happy at all. And he starts shouting.
I don't care how good this Jeff Hayward is. It's crazy to spend all our money on a kid who hasn't proven himself in the big league.
So Jeff, the high-profile signing, needs to try and prove his son to his new teammates, who obviously have heard how much he's earning and think he's a bit of a dick. Now, whilst a lot of sports films will focus predominantly on the sporting action and whether or not your protagonists are successful or not, and yeah, there's a bit of that in this, but mainly it's about the behind-the-scenes conflicts, political manoeuvring and backstabbing and all that sort of stuff. It's basically a sports movie equivalent of Game of Thrones. Yeah, in much the same way that weren't really about dragons and gnomes and things like that. It was more about the politics and the backstabbing. I think that's why folk were really into it.
I did warn you not to trust me.
So, as well as Laurie and Jeff Hayward, you've got Ted, who is the club president, who comes across as a bit of a moron. You've got Danny, who's the club captain, a bit of a veteran player, but also a ladies' man. He's probably the Ian Botham of the team. Yeah, Botham, he were always at it, weren't he, allegedly? He must still have that knack now, because the ladies are always swooning over him in the Revitive adverts.
Are we walking today?
Oh, I'd love to, but my legs feel tired and achy.
I had the same problem. You need Revitive.
Yeah, that's how Botham keeps his sending trim, isn't it? And keeps appealing to ladies. Anyway, yeah, you've got Jock, who's on the committee, and is an ex-player and ex-coach at club. And he can't stand Laurie, because he don't want anybody to be as successful as he were, either as a player or a coach.
He was obsessed with beating my record of 282 games. Absolutely obsessed. He had a bad groin injury and a dicey hamstring. He was in agony every time he took that ground, but there was no stopping him.
Sounds like Laurie could have done with a Revitive and all. And then you got Jerry, who's this administrator who's a real slimy turd. Now, Jock and Jerry are manoeuvring behind the scenes to get rid of Ted as the club president and get Laurie sacked as the coach. Now, some great characters and great acting in this, I reckon, because the characters are all very rounded, not two-dimensional at all. You know, they've all got flaws. Ted, the president, like I say, he comes across as a pillock, but at times you start to feel sympathetic towards him. Looks a bit of a sad sack character. You feel sorry for him. And Laurie, Jeff and Danny, they're all very flawed characters, but they all have redeeming qualities, which means you end up rooting for them. The only folk in it that are irredeemable are Jerry, who really is a slimy, odious turd.
Oh, I'm sorry this has happened, Ted.
Great acting from that fella. Yeah, very unlikable. And Jock, who, he ain't got the best interests of the club at heart. Now he's a selfish turd, and all his actions are to do with preserving his own legacy.
The only picture that should be up there is mine. 282 games as a player, 4 premierships as a coach.
Now, as I say, most of the film is about the behind-the-scenes politics, but there's still quite a lot of Aussie Rules football action in it. And as a layperson, it looked pretty convincing to me. I mean, I'm not really an expert, but it looked good. You know, you saw them playing and training, and you saw the coaches doing their stuff. I mean, I say I don't know how realistic they were as coaches, but they seemed convincing to me.
Where are your balls, man? What are you, a bloody poofter? Now look, you wake up to yourself or you'll play the rest of the game in a bloody dress.
Oh, you can't say that sort of stuff these days, can you? No, not appropriate. No. But I say I don't know if that's accurate or not, how he's talking there. Wonder what an Aussie Rules team talk is actually like.
We've got to run the play now so we can take this game! Stick it up their ass because they're nothing! Push yourselves right to the final hooter and take this prize away from these They ain't deserving! We do!
Come on,
and they're fucking
Well, weren't as homophobic, but should have had a lewd language warning. So portrayal's probably pretty accurate, isn't it? And there is a lot of arguing in this. Lots of shouting. Always shouting over each other. And as a result, it's got loads of memorable lines in it. I put my lad Dino onto this film because I thought he'd enjoy it. And ever since he's seen it, he's been quoting these lines back to me.
Well, the committee can get stuffed.
Well, what gives you the right to sit in judgment on me, you fat turd?
And I don't know if it's just the Australian accents or what, but the swearing and the shouting sounds great. They really do deliver the lines with gusto. And some of the shouting, it reminded me of that viral clip of that Aussie bloke getting arrested.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
He'd have fitted in great in the club, wouldn't he? Okie-doo, on to Ray's ratings. Well, it's safe to say I was not expecting a lot from this film. I'd never heard out about it, didn't know what it were. But it were a sports film, and I do quite like a good sports film. So I were hoping it'd be a 2-star film. And maybe it's because my expectations were pretty low, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought it were fantastic. It ain't just a sports movie. If you like political manoeuvring and backstabbing and all that sort of stuff, then the club is for you. But also, even though I'm no expert on Aussie Rules, I thought the action scenes looked very good, very convincing. And even if you're not keen on any of that stuff, if you enjoy watching Australians shouting at each other, then this is a great way of spending an hour and a half. So I'm rating the club a 5-star, 2-star film. Anyway, my legs have been aching a lot lately, and I'm very mindful of not becoming decrepit as I get older. So perhaps it's time to give Revitive a go. Then maybe I too could have a lithe, athletic physique like Ian Botham. Jesus! Bloody hell, Botham, you look like you've had one too many succulent Chinese meals there. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Club Rayvers. And if you did, poke the like button for me. Or maybe boot it. Or shoulder charge it. Like an Aussie Rules footballer might. Yeah, and share Ray reviews with your mates. And subscribe if you ain't already a subscriber. Much appreciated. But yeah, it's definitely worth a look, this film. It's on YouTube. There's a lot to enjoy about it. Even if you ain't a fan of sports films or Aussie Rules football. It's very enjoyable. Strongly recommend it. Now, I've got a belated birthday shout out for a raver. Anita, happy birthday. She put a request in for a review, but I ain't had time to get round to it yet, and I missed her birthday, so sorry about that, Anita, but I hope you had a good one. Any road, copyright box permitting, I will be back with another review very soon. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Okie doo!